Could it be missing? Could it be missing? Do you have any siblings? Do you have any siblings? Shouldn't we be right back? Shouldn't we be right back? We comment 5 weeks ago. We comment 5 weeks ago. Was my colleague a salesperson? Was my colleague a salesperson? They are usually not attractive. They are usually not attractive. We'll plan for 1 month ahead. We'll plan for 1 month ahead. I talked to my boss about my job performance. I talked to my boss about my job performance. They wouldn't cook it every year. They wouldn't cook it every year. You won't be teaching now. You won't be teaching now. He will work on his project all night. He will work on his project all night. He works hard to support his family. He works hard to support his family. You weren't a window cleaner every month. You weren't a window cleaner every month. Does it improve every month? Does it improve every month? You can't pass after 3 nights. You can't pass after 3 nights. May I see your passport and boarding pass, please? May I see your passport and boarding pass, please? Could communicate at dawn. Could communicate at dawn. Was your brother a baker? Was your brother a baker? I can't take it out. I can't take it out. I wouldn't call. I wouldn't call. Can't sleep next year? Can't sleep next year? They can warn. They can warn. Do you ever eat takeaways? Do you ever eat takeaways? Can't they surround? Can't they surround? I did not solve. I did not solve. Can he train for 10 years? Can he train for 10 years? Recline your seat on airplanes. Recline your seat on airplanes. Cooking is a fun hobby. Cooking is a fun hobby. I'm a little confused. I'm a little confused. I'm going to the cafe. I'm going to the cafe. Is your half-sister a technician? Is your half-sister a technician? Are their stepdaughters a pharmacist? Are their stepdaughters a pharmacist? We can trust. We can trust. We wrote the code together with John. We wrote the code together with John. Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. I would love to get married one day. I would love to get married one day. Guess. Guess. Can I see your passport, please? Can I see your passport, please? Can't we glazing at 3 p.m.? Can't we glazing at 3 p.m.? Can you show me where the health center is? Can you show me where the health center is? Have I blocked it now? Have I blocked it now? I wish I could go on vacation next week. I wish I could go on vacation next week. Can offer. Can offer. We give direction at sunrise. We give direction at sunrise. Because I'm not hungry. Because I'm not hungry. It was the best choice among the candidates. It was the best choice among the candidates. Should not cook for 2 weeks. Should not cook for 2 weeks. Was your niece a nurse? Was your niece a nurse? Will you be a realtor? Will you be a realtor? Wasn't I a housewife next year? Wasn't I a housewife next year? Do not think like that. Do not think like that. Didn't come out last year. Didn't come out last year. English will be spoken all over the world. English will be spoken all over the world. Can it be supported every month? Can it be supported every month? I never watch TV. I never watch TV. After 3 seconds, you are not judged. After 3 seconds, you are not judged. They were swimming in the pool on a hot summer day. They were swimming in the pool on a hot summer day. You can't usually kill. You can't usually kill. I don't know if I want to know what you know. I don't know if I want to know what you know. Will I not be a businessman next year? Will I not be a businessman next year? Won't they add it right away? Won't they add it right away? He had always dreamed of being a pilot, and he finally did. He had always dreamed of being a pilot, and he finally did. Can play every day. Can play every day. I'm in the room on the left. I'm in the room on the left. The garbage disposal is clogged. The garbage disposal is clogged. Take out a piece of paper. Take out a piece of paper. Can it block? Can it block? Not applicable. Not applicable. Twilight may not be binding. Twilight may not be binding. We may not object after 5 months. We may not object after 5 months. Is her brother-in-law the owner? Is her brother-in-law the owner? Was his nephew a psychologist? Was his nephew a psychologist? I can support. I can support. We were waiting when the bus came. We were waiting when the bus came. Shouldn't care now. Shouldn't care now. This is a great design. This is a great design. You stay here with me. You stay here with me. Couldn't he have been a bellboy 4 centuries ago? Couldn't he have been a bellboy 4 centuries ago? Shouldn't he help out at night? Shouldn't he help out at night? Aren't we locked out every day? Aren't we locked out every day? He will travel to France next year. He will travel to France next year. Do I ever evaluate? Do I ever evaluate? It didn't start 2 years ago. It didn't start 2 years ago. Would he prove it? Would he prove it? Can make jokes often. Can make jokes often. We lie at dawn. We lie at dawn. Who took your hat? Who took your hat? Our outdoor seating area is very popular. Our outdoor seating area is very popular. Were they doctors of the year? Were they doctors of the year? Did not become a fabricator every day. Did not become a fabricator every day. He has lived in London for 5 years. He has lived in London for 5 years. Are my cousins wrestlers? Are my cousins wrestlers? She was practicing her public speaking skills in front of a mirror. She was practicing her public speaking skills in front of a mirror. Is your stepson a contractor? Is your stepson a contractor? Thanks for the update. Thanks for the update. It is very important to question our beliefs. It is very important to question our beliefs. The answer is certain. The answer is certain. Look at some common adjectives to describe foods. What kind of food do we use them often with? Look at some common adjectives to describe foods. What kind of food do we use them often with? Don't I sometimes question? Don't I sometimes question? He is very young and very new to our industry. But he is open to learning. He is very young and very new to our industry. But he is open to learning. Is my colleague a technician? Is my colleague a technician? Didn't you fail? Didn't you fail? Are you planning to stand here all night? Are you planning to stand here all night? Are your grandchildren investors? Are your grandchildren investors? They go to the lake to swim. They go to the lake to swim. A year later we wouldn't be rangers. A year later we wouldn't be rangers. We walked for miles along the beach. We walked for miles along the beach. Do you have any allergies? Do you have any allergies? He goes to the park on the weekends. He goes to the park on the weekends. Shouldn't we fill it sooner? Shouldn't we fill it sooner? I own a pack of oranges. I own a pack of oranges. Won't you be a gynecologist at sunrise? Won't you be a gynecologist at sunrise? Then I limit. Then I limit. His grandson was an optician. His grandson was an optician. Should you do a manicure? Should you do a manicure? Are their cousins shoemakers? Are their cousins shoemakers? Should we clean up last year? Should we clean up last year? Is our stepdaughter a pianist? Is our stepdaughter a pianist? Some of my favorite hobbies are reading and painting. Some of my favorite hobbies are reading and painting. Can't judge in the twilight? Can't judge in the twilight? If it doesn't rain, I'll go out. If it doesn't rain, I'll go out. They were listening to the radio. They were listening to the radio. But I still feel sad. But I still feel sad. In the evening he will be learning a new language. In the evening he will be learning a new language. I don't notice anything special about the event. I don't notice anything special about the event. Do you like going to the gym? Do you like going to the gym? Could this be the development we've been waiting for? Could this be the development we've been waiting for? Are you a referee? Are you a referee? Can't they demand? Can't they demand? I don't know why you are doing this. I don't know why you are doing this. Was your spouse a coroner? Was your spouse a coroner? I need to break this bad habit. I need to break this bad habit. The ride to the beach was beautiful with amazing views of the coastline. The ride to the beach was beautiful with amazing views of the coastline. Did we swim right away? Did we swim right away? You'll be the jury every week. You'll be the jury every week. Tinned. Tinned. Can babysit. Can babysit. You can become a mechanic right away. You can become a mechanic right away. They do grocery shopping every week. They do grocery shopping every week. Can you give some information about the Wi-Fi coverage of the campus? Can you give some information about the Wi-Fi coverage of the campus? It didn't work last year. It didn't work last year. Shouldn't we be athletes every day? Shouldn't we be athletes every day? Its disappearance is still a mystery. Its disappearance is still a mystery. Weren't they important? Weren't they important? Wouldn't he normally hit? Wouldn't he normally hit? We have already booked our flights for the holiday. We have already booked our flights for the holiday. Is our stepson an intensive care specialist? Is our stepson an intensive care specialist? I actually worked with John as well. I actually worked with John as well. John fell to the ground quickly in the garden 2 days ago. John fell to the ground quickly in the garden 2 days ago. Won't you watch then? Won't you watch then? You can withdraw up to 2 weeks in advance. You can withdraw up to 2 weeks in advance. I don't know what you are saying. I don't know what you are saying. Were our parents interns? Were our parents interns? Couldn't they have an affair later in the morning? Couldn't they have an affair later in the morning? I promise to be fast. I promise to be fast. Annie had a cold too. Annie had a cold too. I'm going to cover my car with a new layer of polish. I'm going to cover my car with a new layer of polish. Can't love? Can't love? Do we have to walk later? Do we have to walk later? I am willing to work hard to improve our relationship. I am willing to work hard to improve our relationship. I will breastfeed. I will breastfeed. He played basketball with his friends. He played basketball with his friends. Therapist at sunrise? Therapist at sunrise? Should advance at sunrise. Should advance at sunrise. Are they burned? Are they burned? The ground was covered with snow. The ground was covered with snow. Should we usually provide? Should we usually provide? The bird was soaring above the mountains. The bird was soaring above the mountains. We are waiting for your reply. We are waiting for your reply. I don't know what kind of person you are. I don't know what kind of person you are. Were his grandchildren laundresses? Were his grandchildren laundresses? His grandfather was a shepherd. His grandfather was a shepherd. Shouldn't be dealing with it. Shouldn't be dealing with it. I always lock my door before I go to bed. I always lock my door before I go to bed. Don't you normally have to suffer? Don't you normally have to suffer? Haven't I ever been an agent? Haven't I ever been an agent? Good morning, how are you today? Good morning, how are you today? She is taking a walk in the park during her lunch break. She is taking a walk in the park during her lunch break. Will not be selected every week. Will not be selected every week. Was his half-brother a director? Was his half-brother a director? The anesthesiologist will be with you to explain the anesthesia options. The anesthesiologist will be with you to explain the anesthesia options. The stepdaughter's curator. The stepdaughter's curator. My relatives are architects. My relatives are architects. Can I limit? Can I limit? 5 days ago he was not afraid. 5 days ago he was not afraid. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your interest. Can you give more details about the project? Can you give more details about the project? Should we pause before continuing? Should we pause before continuing? I'm going to the eye doctor. I'm going to the eye doctor. Was our spouse an ambassador? Was our spouse an ambassador? If I want to save paper, I'll have to start binding my books. If I want to save paper, I'll have to start binding my books. They did not fly. They did not fly. He teaches math to high school students. He teaches math to high school students. We wouldn't force it after 1 week. We wouldn't force it after 1 week. What do you think of my company? What do you think of my company? If I had the money, I could buy a new car. If I had the money, I could buy a new car. Were my relatives babysitters? Were my relatives babysitters? Do they usually play games? Do they usually play games? Please take your medicine as directed. Please take your medicine as directed. The dinner party was ruined by the politics debate. The dinner party was ruined by the politics debate. He is the driver at noon. He is the driver at noon. Is it kidnapped after 5 weeks? Is it kidnapped after 5 weeks? Will you quietly ride a bunny? Will you quietly ride a bunny? Check out. Check out. Can you add more salt to my food? Can you add more salt to my food? Rudeness. Rudeness. We immediately became pipe layers. We immediately became pipe layers. I have the appropriate paperwork. I have the appropriate paperwork. Will I collect? Will I collect? To exercise. To exercise. Can't they be aviators soon? Can't they be aviators soon? Can it be touched? Can it be touched? 4 p.m. Why couldn't it? 4 p.m. Why couldn't it? It is likely that I will live in a clean and tidy house. It is likely that I will live in a clean and tidy house. Disappoint. Disappoint. His sister is a guard. His sister is a guard. Won't it meet later at midnight? Won't it meet later at midnight? By the time he graduates, he'll be going to college for 4 years. By the time he graduates, he'll be going to college for 4 years. He had no control over the situation. He had no control over the situation. Could you decide? Could you decide? Can't it burn next year? Can't it burn next year? I'm weaker than John. I'm weaker than John. What do you recommend? What do you recommend? I don't want to lose my love. I don't want to lose my love. Both my mom and dad are retired now. Both my mom and dad are retired now. You can race. You can race. Can be selected earlier. Can be selected earlier. You keep 10 years. You keep 10 years. Will it finish? Will it finish? I'm not sure I want to believe you. I'm not sure I want to believe you. He was dragged out of the car. He was dragged out of the car. I had an accident in the city. I had an accident in the city. What is your favorite movie? What is your favorite movie? I'll try to connect the atmosphere to the August sun. I'll try to connect the atmosphere to the August sun. I can fall any day. I can fall any day. Shouldn't it match? Shouldn't it match? Wouldn't he be an industrialist often? Wouldn't he be an industrialist often? Don't you defend 10 years? Don't you defend 10 years? Could you please turn off the lights before you go? Could you please turn off the lights before you go? Is he rarely a teacher? Is he rarely a teacher? Do you think it helps? Do you think it helps? They have never been to Europe before. They have never been to Europe before. Didn't we push weekly? Didn't we push weekly? I can't wait to relax and soak up the sun. I can't wait to relax and soak up the sun. I'm going to kindergarten. I'm going to kindergarten. Can I buy you something? Can I buy you something? Don't we get involved in 4 years? Don't we get involved in 4 years? Can you cook? Can you cook? How many do you want? How many do you want? We will start a family. We will start a family. Does he listen every day? Does he listen every day? Do I fill? Do I fill? I can't afford. I can't afford. We are always politicians. We are always politicians. Means every year. Means every year. Her uncle is a fashion designer. Her uncle is a fashion designer. Couldn't I have owned a house 4 centuries ago? Couldn't I have owned a house 4 centuries ago? He is close. He is close. Now do you want to talk to me about my sons? Now do you want to talk to me about my sons? Did they appear every year? Did they appear every year? While it can be time-consuming, it is important to do it the right way. While it can be time-consuming, it is important to do it the right way. Will she dance then? Will she dance then? The lady in the red dress is very beautiful. The lady in the red dress is very beautiful. I may not always look. I may not always look. The report provides an overview of research on the impact of social media on children and adolescents. The report provides an overview of research on the impact of social media on children and adolescents. Won't you send? Won't you send? May not develop normally. May not develop normally. I'm soft. I'm soft. We were able to manage 3 nights ago. We were able to manage 3 nights ago. Also take a look. Also take a look. I own this house. I own this house. We did not disclose. We did not disclose. I have a lot in common with my best friend. I have a lot in common with my best friend. What is your favorite hobby? What is your favorite hobby? He wasn't the chef every year. He wasn't the chef every year. He sat on the bench in the park and read a book. He sat on the bench in the park and read a book. His parents were porters. His parents were porters. His brother was a locksmith. His brother was a locksmith. He stood behind her as he spoke. He stood behind her as he spoke. Sympathetic. Sympathetic. This is beyond doubt. This is beyond doubt. It would be right away. It would be right away. Don't we trade annually? Don't we trade annually? If I had known you were coming, I would have made a cake. If I had known you were coming, I would have made a cake. His nephew was a postman. His nephew was a postman. Can't he exist? Can't he exist? I'm going to the grocery store to buy something to eat for my party. I'm going to the grocery store to buy something to eat for my party. Do you have any? Do you have any? I've supported the cancer charity for 27 years. I've supported the cancer charity for 27 years. They had been trying to have a baby for years until they finally decided to adopt. They had been trying to have a baby for years until they finally decided to adopt. Can she cry then? Can she cry then? Those who are sick. Those who are sick. I'm riding a bicycle. I'm riding a bicycle. You'll have a nap in an hour. You'll have a nap in an hour. This is his book. This is his book. How many brothers and sisters does Robinson have? How many brothers and sisters does Robinson have? Haven't you taken it before? Haven't you taken it before? Will they drop next year? Will they drop next year? Couldn't he get on later at 2 a.m.? Couldn't he get on later at 2 a.m.? When are you working? When are you working? I can kiss. I can kiss. Did he calculate it the night before? Did he calculate it the night before? I'm still a student, but I don't like being a student. I'm still a student, but I don't like being a student. She is not a babysitter now. She is not a babysitter now. The house is beyond the borders of civilization. The house is beyond the borders of civilization. Your father was a masseuse. Your father was a masseuse. He didn't said a week ago. He didn't said a week ago. They were never implemented. They were never implemented. The children had finished their homework before going out to play. The children had finished their homework before going out to play. We could not publish. We could not publish. Aren't you a firefighter 4 centuries later? Aren't you a firefighter 4 centuries later? His mother is a judge. His mother is a judge. Definitely. Definitely. Were you always the captain? Were you always the captain? Aren't we missing? Aren't we missing? He lived in the city for years before moving to the countryside. He lived in the city for years before moving to the countryside. Did we win a minute ago? Did we win a minute ago? Don't you always have to insist? Don't you always have to insist? The electric knife makes it easy to carve the meat. The electric knife makes it easy to carve the meat. I won't wake up next year. I won't wake up next year. Will I be a bartender after 4 weeks? Will I be a bartender after 4 weeks? Was your nephew a statistician? Was your nephew a statistician? Won't we know? Won't we know? Wasn't he the advertiser next year? Wasn't he the advertiser next year? My close plans. My close plans. I have to go to the store. I have to go to the store. I'm in the room on the other side of the house. I'm in the room on the other side of the house. Why did you want to travel? Why did you want to travel? Still not sure what to wear to the event. Still not sure what to wear to the event. Can they take care of it every day? Can they take care of it every day? Is your stepson a contractor? Is your stepson a contractor? Have you connected before? Have you connected before? Don't we feel sometimes? Don't we feel sometimes? 2. I am sure he will be very successful. 2. I am sure he will be very successful. At the end of the month, we will have finished the project. At the end of the month, we will have finished the project. I had a great time at the party last night. I had a great time at the party last night. Don't they lose after 4 minutes? Don't they lose after 4 minutes? They would work. They would work. Was his son a monk? Was his son a monk? I will return the book to the library. I will return the book to the library. Had not been created before. Had not been created before. The equipment was huge and it was difficult to escape. The equipment was huge and it was difficult to escape. He goes to the library to study. He goes to the library to study. Can you tell me when this happened? Can you tell me when this happened? They don't hire anyone until they do interviews. They don't hire anyone until they do interviews. Stairs. Stairs. I'm going to the grocery store to buy something to eat for my party. I'm going to the grocery store to buy something to eat for my party. Sincere. Sincere. We can trust. We can trust. Their father is a housewife. Their father is a housewife. They do not match. They do not match. Wouldn't it be an investment at dawn? Wouldn't it be an investment at dawn? I'm not sure I understand, but can you explain it to me? I'm not sure I understand, but can you explain it to me? He is studying medicine at university. He is studying medicine at university. I am going to swim. I am going to swim. They opened every day. They opened every day. Can't you wonder? Can't you wonder? Will not build. Will not build. As the finish. As the finish. He is not visiting. He is not visiting. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite food? I drink water when I'm thirsty. I drink water when I'm thirsty. Was his half-brother a gymnast? Was his half-brother a gymnast? He goes jogging in the morning. He goes jogging in the morning. I can be a cleaner in a year. I can be a cleaner in a year. I had an accident last night. I had an accident last night. Were we repeating it every week? Were we repeating it every week? I disagree. I disagree. Beach. Beach. Infrastructure. Infrastructure. Can he do groceries later? Can he do groceries later? Questionnaire. Questionnaire. Not to wear. Not to wear. Does it help at noon? Does it help at noon? Weren't you an environmentalist every year? Weren't you an environmentalist every year? Will you ride a rabbit? Will you ride a rabbit? We will not prepare. We will not prepare. He went to the beach with his friends. He went to the beach with his friends. Please correct the errors in your article. Please correct the errors in your article. Can't they connect every month? Can't they connect every month? He guessed the answer was 12. He guessed the answer was 12. We were listening to music and accompanying. We were listening to music and accompanying. I was so excited for the party that I couldn't sit still. I was so excited for the party that I couldn't sit still. Does he have to play every week? Does he have to play every week? His half-brothers are hunters. His half-brothers are hunters. Should I then become a midnight fabricator? Should I then become a midnight fabricator? I will not help. I will not help. Would we be cardiologists now? Would we be cardiologists now? Yes, I understand what you're saying. Yes, I understand what you're saying. The electric skillet is great for one-pot cooking. The electric skillet is great for one-pot cooking. We must choose 10 years. We must choose 10 years. What do you recommend? What do you recommend? I am determined to be proficient in English. I am determined to be proficient in English. Were you riding a rabbit? Were you riding a rabbit? Were there uncles senators? Were there uncles senators? May not kick. May not kick. Is it normal to check? Is it normal to check? Can't you rarely be an undertaker? Can't you rarely be an undertaker? Ignored at noon. Ignored at noon. She is a doctor. She is a doctor. Will not result. Will not result. I can always explore. I can always explore. I do not have much money. I do not have much money. Do you have it? Do you have it? Could you please help me with this math problem? Could you please help me with this math problem? They could not sleep. They could not sleep. I put my shopping in the cart and then walked around the store. I put my shopping in the cart and then walked around the store. You are in front of me. You are in front of me. You must be a magician now. You must be a magician now. I wouldn't come back. I wouldn't come back. Can you help me with this heavy box? Can you help me with this heavy box? Can't we hide after 3 nights? Can't we hide after 3 nights? Wasn't he an occasional musician? Wasn't he an occasional musician? Can I travel? Can I travel? What kind of toys do you like? What kind of toys do you like? The different cultures of the two countries made communication difficult. The different cultures of the two countries made communication difficult. What symptoms are you experiencing? What symptoms are you experiencing? To throw. To throw. Shouldn't she? Shouldn't she? What do you think about our company? What do you think about our company? He must be a frequent pilot. He must be a frequent pilot. At the end of the month, I will be working in this job for 6 months. At the end of the month, I will be working in this job for 6 months. Then you will impose. Then you will impose. I can't imagine my life without it. I can't imagine my life without it. Was your niece a nurse? Was your niece a nurse? That's when it appeared. That's when it appeared. What sports can you do? What sports can you do? Yes, our hotel has Wi-Fi. Yes, our hotel has Wi-Fi. Is our mom the sheriff? Is our mom the sheriff? Didn't he throw? Didn't he throw? It could cost 2 years ago. It could cost 2 years ago. Truck driver after 4 nights? Truck driver after 4 nights? Didn't we play? Didn't we play? Don't we separate? Don't we separate? His father is a teacher. His father is a teacher. I have extensive computer knowledge. I have extensive computer knowledge. Couldn't he be a missionary later on? Couldn't he be a missionary later on? Should I teach at night? Should I teach at night? I can't detect any change in their behavior. I can't detect any change in their behavior. Can we please keep the noise level low? Can we please keep the noise level low? Never fear. Never fear. Was her stepdaughter a cook? Was her stepdaughter a cook? I can't wait to go to the beach next weekend. I can't wait to go to the beach next weekend. Can't he be a night watcher? Can't he be a night watcher? I'm in the room with the toys. I'm in the room with the toys. You were exercising every month. You were exercising every month. Can it change? Can it change? Didn't they pour it at 5 a.m. before? Didn't they pour it at 5 a.m. before? The band will perform at the festival next month. The band will perform at the festival next month. If we follow the instructions carefully, we can assemble this furniture in no time. If we follow the instructions carefully, we can assemble this furniture in no time. I play with my friend at school. I play with my friend at school. Our half-brother was an actor. Our half-brother was an actor. I'm going to watch a movie at the cinema tonight. I'm going to watch a movie at the cinema tonight. I have many books. I have many books. Can you help me with this math problem? Can you help me with this math problem? If it gets cold, I won't go out. If it gets cold, I won't go out. Wouldn't you be a civil engineer in 2 days? Wouldn't you be a civil engineer in 2 days? You will be connected. You will be connected. Your mother was a postman. Your mother was a postman. My grandson was a publisher. My grandson was a publisher. We are not referees every year. We are not referees every year. Could you please let me know if there is any change in your health history? Could you please let me know if there is any change in your health history? Is her brother a harvester? Is her brother a harvester? Show for 2 weeks? Show for 2 weeks? Cancel. Cancel. Before we begin, let's review the safety guidelines. Before we begin, let's review the safety guidelines. Discipline is important in every aspect of life. Discipline is important in every aspect of life. Where will I stand in 2 centuries? Where will I stand in 2 centuries? Valuable. Valuable. Can't I normally object? Can't I normally object? We will travel to a new country. We will travel to a new country. I'm going to kindergarten. I'm going to kindergarten. We couldn't be a monthly songwriter. We couldn't be a monthly songwriter. School ends at 3. School ends at 3. Sometimes not an ecologist? Sometimes not an ecologist? It was the most important thing in the world to me. It was the most important thing in the world to me. My approximate salary is 1,000 lira. My approximate salary is 1,000 lira. By the end of the year I will have learned to play the guitar. By the end of the year I will have learned to play the guitar. The cat sleeps in the sun. The cat sleeps in the sun. I have to skip the other meeting, thanks. I have to skip the other meeting, thanks. Assumed 3 years ago? Assumed 3 years ago? Whose cologne is this? Whose cologne is this? Congratulations for your new job. Congratulations for your new job. Discussion topics. Discussion topics. Is his daughter a forester? Is his daughter a forester? They can paint soon. They can paint soon. Doesn't it kill? Doesn't it kill? We may not warn. We may not warn. Our toilets are always clean and full. Our toilets are always clean and full. I can't save often. I can't save often. Get bored. Get bored. Swear. Swear. I'm here because I'm hungry and tired. I'm here because I'm hungry and tired. Will they rise? Will they rise? Fancy dress? Fancy dress? What time is check-in? What time is check-in? You should not park in the handicapped area without permission. You should not park in the handicapped area without permission. He was walking his dog when it started to snow. He was walking his dog when it started to snow. Won't you measure at dawn? Won't you measure at dawn?